Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about what to make of this USMNT roster. Poch released his roster Thursday of last week, and I got many mixed opinions about this roster. It is much better when compared to the roster we used over the summer for the Gold Cup and for this last camp in September. But still, I think we're a couple of pieces away from really saying that this is our best roster possible, but it's an overall improvement. So today we're going to be talking about what to make of this roster for this camp, where the USMNT will be playing matches against Ecuador and Australia. So let's start off with this video. But before we continue, I'd like to tell you guys to like and subscribe, because it is very important that you guys like and subscribe so you guys can never miss another video. And to also not forget to follow me on X and on TikTok. There will be more content on those platforms. So let's get on with the video. We will be starting off in goal, and Poch brought four keepers to this camp. I've got a lot of mixed opinions about bringing four keepers. I think it's an overload and it's way too many keepers. I think three does the job. But he brought Matt Freese, Matt Turner, Chris Brady, and Patrick Schulte to this camp, and they're all MLS goalkeepers. If you would have brought at least one more goalkeeper, at least make someone who's abroad, maybe like a Deo Cochin, maybe even a Jonathan Klinsmann, but I've got many mixed opinions about bringing four keepers that play in the domestic league. But Matt Freese and Matt Turner, I do understand them. There are they are our best keepers by far. Matt Freese, I think he's already has that position as the number one already assured. And as long as he keeps performing at this level for the national team, I think that position should be his. Chris Brady and Schulte will be battling out for that third keeper spot for this camp. I think I favor Brady over Schulte. Schulte, although he has played decent these last couple of years, but this season he has struggled a bit. He has taken a step down, while Chris Brady has taken a step up. And Chris Brady has been one of the biggest reasons of why the Fire are back in playoff contention. So I favor Brady over Schulte. And I think, like, if this was only three keepers, Brady will be that third keeper. Next, we'll be going with the center backs. Poch brought five center backs to this camp, so I think we will be seeing a back three again during this camp. And he brought Chris Richards, Tim Ream, Mark McKenzie, Cameron Carter Vickers, and Miles Robinson. I think the two starters here are obvious: Tim Ream and Chris Richards. Richards, our best center back by far. He has been playing at a top level in the Premier League with Crystal Palace. Tim Ream, our most experienced center back, he hasn't taken a step down quite yet to the point where he's unplayable, but I will be seeing other options during this camp just to see how does Mark McKenzie and Cameron Carter Vickers like hold up against Tim Ream. And I think that third starter, if we play a back three, should be Mark McKenzie. He plays at the best level compared to Cameron Carter Vickers, who plays in Scotland with Celtic, and he plays at a better level. He has been having a better season so far. So I think Mark McKenzie, that should be his position. And Cameron Carter Vickers is another center back we should also be watching out for. I know, like, after that World Cup, boy, he hasn't taken that step yet, but he's been a very good center back in the Scottish Premier League with Celtic as of late. So also keep an eye on him. Miles Robinson, I do not understand why he's even here. He shouldn't have even been here after his Achilles injury, like back in 2021. So I don't understand why he's here, but he's here. Next, we'll be going with the fullbacks. Poch only chose three fullbacks, so that's kind of a questionable starter here. But the three fullbacks chosen were Anthony Robinson, Max Arston, and Alex Freeman. Starting off with A-Rob, Anthony Robinson, probably one of the best, like one of the top three best left backs we've ever had on this program. He's one of the best for sure. He's a dynamic player. Really, he's a player that changes how the USMT plays when he's available. Then Max Arfston, a lot of divisive opinions about him on in the fan base. A lot of people like to talk about his goals and assist stats during the Gold Cup, but also a lot of people like to talk about his horrendous defending during the Gold Cup, especially during the final where Diego Luna literally had to play as a left back just to help out Max Arston. And that Japan game, that was the most Max Arston performance I've ever seen. Like, he had a nice assist, but also throughout most of the game, Japan was literally targeting his side when they had the ball, and this was Japan's B team. So that talks about a lot about how teams perceive the defensive aspect of Max Arston. Alex Freeman, again, a lot of mixed opinions about Alex Freeman. He plays out of his mind for Orlando City. He looks like a dynamic player, scores goals, gets assists, but on the national team, like offensively, he's like nowhere near the player he is for Orlando City. Probably due because of the play style, but also like defensively, he looks a lot better with the national team when compared to Orlando. Like, a lot of mixed opinions about him. Joe Scally is not here. Joe Scally, like, he hasn't been here since the Nations League, so I think his cycle for the 2026 World Cup cycle, I think he might be done. Like, I heard like a report he was doing like tricks for golf carts. Like, if that's the reason why, that's the most ridiculous reason of why he's not even here. Sergio Dest is injured, so I get that. But Joe Scally has to be here, man. Like, Joe Scally is the second best right back we have on this pool. Next, we'll be going with the midfielders, starting off with Weston McKennie. Weston McKennie, one of the best players we currently have. I know he hasn't started off the season good with Juventus. He has a rough start to the season, but this is always part of the script. Juventus always tries to replace him because of his contract negotiations. But as the season goes on, he ends up being a starter. And then, like, even late into the season, he's sometimes even the captain. So this is just part of the script. Malik Tillman. Malik Tillman has had a decent start to life with Bayer Leverkusen. I feel like as the season goes on, he will improve, but he has also had his rough moments with Leverkusen. So I feel like he's just adapting to his new team. I know they just fired their coach, Eric Ten Hag. So ever since they fired him, like, it's been up and down for Malik Tillman. But I feel as the season goes on, he will improve. Tanner Tessman for Lyon. He has been balling out, playing out of his mind. He scored a golazzo the other day. Glad to see him here. Hayden Morris also has started off the season really good with Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, I think they're even leading the championship table at this point of the season. So Hayden Morris deserves to be here. James Sands, haven't seen him play, but from what I've heard, he's been playing really good with St. Pauli in the Bundesliga. So glad to see him here. Brennan Aronson. Brennan Aronson, he's struggling in the Prem with Leeds. I know he's not probably not the player with the most quality, but he will put in effort and he will be putting in defensive effort. So just as a player to come off the bench, I feel like just having him here to do that, like, I'm glad to see him here also. Christian Roldan, I do not understand why he's here. Like, I saw the Japan game, the guy looked out of place. Like, I do not understand what Poch sees in him. I thought after the 2023 Gold Cup, like, his era with the national team was over, but he's back, and unfortunately, Poch sees something in him. So, like, I do not understand why he's been picked. So, a notable player who's not here is Tyler Adams. He's not injured or anything, but he's just expecting a son. So, like, sometime during this window, I feel like he would have another kid. So, I understand why he is not here. Next, we'll be going with the wingers, starting off with Christian Pulisic. Obviously, he has to be here. Start off the season on fire with Milan, scoring goals, providing assists. I know he missed a penalty against Juventus the other day, but, like, he's been playing out of his mind still. Like, probably the best player for Milan during the season, and Milan looks like a new team this season. So, and he's a big part of why. Like, and what I've noticed is that Milan is starting to use him more of a central role. He plays as a second striker, false nine, a 10, like, from what I've been seeing in the games. And I feel with this new back three system, Pulisic plays more central, and I feel like we can get to see the best version of Pulisic with the national team. So I'm kind of excited for this new back three system, to be honest. Tim Weah started off the season really good for Marseille. He scored a goal against Real Madrid the other day and also had a decent performance against PSG. So he started off the season pretty decent on Marseille. With this new back three system, I do not know where he'll fit in. Like he's more of a wide player instead of playing more central. I feel like we'll get to see him more as a fullback during this window, but just a player to keep an eye on. Alex Sendejas, ever since he scored a goal against Japan, he's been playing out of his mind for America, scoring goals, providing assists. He scored a golazo the other day for America against Pumas. Like Keylor Navas was also in goal, so that's also another thing to keep note of. He scored a golazo, a chip. Like Sendejas hasn't been playing out of his mind. If he can continue to play that for club and have good performances for the national team, I can see him starting to cement his role, not as a starter, but more of a role player. Diego Luna, after the Gold Cup, like he's kind of taken a step down, but as a role player, like I'm not gonna get too mad over it. A player that provides effort, a player that can provide some quality up top. So nothing against Diego Luna. Finishing this video with the strikers, Poch selected three strikers for this camp, starting off with Florian Balogun. Balo has started off the season pretty good with Monaco, and considering he normally struggles with them, even struggles to get minutes sometimes. Like that's something good to see. And for the national team, like the national team does look different with him on the field, especially on transition and combination. I know he has some scoring issues, but if he can fix that with the national team, then he should be set. And with Haji Wright has been like he's been on fire for Coventry City. He's been scoring goals. He's probably one of the leaders right now in championship for goal scoring. So he's going to be a player to keep an eye on for this camp and also for this season. And Patrick Aguimai, I know he plays for Derby County, but I mistakenly put Coventry City over there, but he plays for Derby County. He's been playing pretty mid so far. I know he scored a goal the other day and has two assists also, but the two assists like they look kind of fluky to be honest. And like in the Gold Cup, like the guy was just falling, slipping. He looked like Bambi out there. I do not know why he's even here. Like a lot of people talk about Josh Sargent not being able to score, but if Josh Sargent played in the Gold Cup and he played in like in those January camps, like he'll be scoring like at least one or two hat tricks. Like I don't understand like the hype around Patrick Aguimang or what Poch sees in him, but he's here. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.